Hello, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome to our last week, full week, in this Introduction to Business Organization course 800 series, Business 121, offered by the College of Lake County. So what do we have this week? You're almost done. One more week and you'll be finished. You'll finish your paper today. You have a Connect homework. You have a forum that's due this week, and then it'll be turned in by Saturday midnight. And then the next week, by Tuesday, you'll do your final exams, the departmental final, 100 questions, and you'll be finished with this class. And I just want to remind you that when you finish your final exam and turn in your paper and I grade the paper, I will send an email to everyone saying your final grade has been posted. The final grade you will see in Blackboard will be the final grade that will be transferred to the registrar and be your final grade on your transcripts. Okay, so what do we have? We have one, this week we will be talking about banking, and I have a short video here on banking. If you go all the way down here, chapter 20, banking with a concept map. And when you look at banking, there's a continuation of when you did our personal finance. I think it was chapter 24 a couple weeks ago, and we talked about credit cards and everything else, and you did a real good posting. And even this last week when we were talking about credit scores within the class, you did very well. Now, because of the credit scores and everything else, if you look at this, don't feel sorry for the banks. The banks are doing pretty good. If you look at this, is from a Wall Street Journal stating credit cards ramps up rewards. So now that the government says you can't have to give individuals 45 days notice before you change interest rates, there's certain rules and protection that were incorporated into the new banking regulations because of what happened with the meltdown and everything else. The credit card companies, which are basically bankers, fear that they're going to lose a lot of revenue, and they did for the first 6 months. They lost revenue, and they're figuring that they're going to be it'll be harder for them to get new people signing up for credits. What they found out since the new restrictions came in, now the people who could get credit are higher statute individuals that will pay them back. So, how do I do it? What you see here, credit cards ramp up rewards. What they're basically saying that credit cards can now earn more cash back, deeper discounts, earn free travel faster, the best deal. So they found out that because even with the new regulations, they're still able to make a decent profitability that they may not have been able to make, that they were making before with the new regulations. Okay, so don't feel too bad for the bankers. When you look at the banking, make sure you understand, look at the concept map, look at here. It talks about the Federal Reserves, it talks about the economic system. What I want you to remember for the final exam, after you review this, it's a 21-minute video clip utilizing the concept maps in chapter 20. Make sure you understand the Federal Reserve. Make sure you understand how the Federal Reserve pulls money out of the economy. Make sure you understand how the Federal Reserve puts money back into the economy. Make sure you understand the open market, or the securities. Those are U.S. Treasury bonds that are sent, sold, or bought back by the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve is our banking system. Okay, so this will tell you everything on there. Here's the printout, what you're going to be doing today. You're going to have on this week, I just discussed we're going to be doing chapter 20. You have no quiz, but in lieu of the one quiz, you're still going to have the Connect homework. It's a regular Connect, one video and one drag and drop on the banking system, just to make sure you understand the terminology so you're prepared for the final exam. That will be next week, Tuesday. Okay, and let's see. So you have one forum. In the forum, let me click on this forum. The forum's worth 20 points. This is an easy forum. This forum, basically, this is the last forum focused on your feasibility research paper. A wrap up 20 easy points. Use this forum to ask the class or the instructor any questions or suggestions you're looking for in your research paper, your venture, your product. And we've been discussing, I think the forum's building all the way up about the credit, how you're going to finance, how you're going to market, who are your customers. Even though in this short 8 weeks, we've done very well within the forum helping each other. And remember, some student says, well, the forms are closed, I got to get back to them. If you click into your grade book, underneath the forms, wherever you have a form, click on the form, you'll be able to access all the forms that you've talked to individuals or that you posted to individuals and individuals reply to you. So if you didn't post to too many individuals and you didn't get any reply, you won't have access to that information. And during the whole week, I kept on reinforcing during this whole, remember, this is a 16-week course condensed into an 8-week section. So during the whole time, I said, whenever you get good ideas from other students or from the instructors, cut and paste it and start building your document. Many of you already have the 7 headers that I'm requiring. You're all ready for the feasibility paper. So you turn this end on this form. No responses, you get 0 points. You have to say something. Dr. George, I have no questions, or Dr. George, I have a question, or when is this turned in? Or you, even if you say I have no questions, I'll give you a point, but you're still supposed to help other people within this forum. I'm still looking for at least 6, 7, 8 posts. 10 is the required posts, helping other students within the forum to get to help them in this last week on their paper. But I'm very flexible on this last week, okay? No response. You have at least to respond to several students within the week as to help them out if you can. If not, you're still required to read so you understand what is required. Because remember, once you turn in that paper, so I didn't realize it was posted in a forum, and I'll show you where you can find more information. Ask about the exam and other questions, as this will be your last official communication with the class as a member of Introduction to Business Online 800 series or 805, one of the 800 series in the spring or fall, whatever you have. Okay, so we're doing pretty good here. And so I'm going to get back out of here and let's go else. So that's your last forum. So you're doing pretty good with the forum. Make sure you take care of that. Your paper, you're going to submit your paper by Saturday. So here's where you submit your paper. It's worth 150 points. So I'm going to click on here. And it says attach you're going to attach a file. You're either working, I want you to save the file as a Word document that has a DOC at the end, or an RTF file if you're not using Microsoft Word. And then you'll attach it as a file within Blackboard. I want you to remember, it's worked by Saturday. Let's see, the date's wrong from last time. But you can submit as early, as many times as you want, till the due date. And I will only open up the most current files as submitted. Remember, I'm looking for 2,400 words. I'm looking for all 7 headers, which you'll find here where it says feasibility research information. I'm looking for 35 business terms and concepts identified in bold. In each will be easy for me to identify and helps you to make sure that you have the 35 concepts. Remember, whether you're taking this class, writing a paper for this class, or you're writing a paper for another class I may teach or for another instructor, how I know that you've learned the content material is that you're using the definitions and concepts from the book, from the reading, from our discussions, from your research finding, and incorporating them inside your document. This gives you, as a business owner or a new entrepreneur or even an existing business owner, credibility that when others read it, they understand not only do you have a good idea, but you have the conceptual knowledge of how to take this idea and actually put it into the market, because you understand the business, all the functionalities, all the 20 chapters we've been covering, the HR, the advertising, the research, the marketing, the promotional campaign, the income statement, the financial, how I'm going to fund the operation. So all this information you've learned, and you've learned with new vocab and concept. Where you find them, I've always provided you concept maps. Remember, maps by chapters. Those, look at those are as at the end of the chapters, it gives you your vocabulary. So you utilize the concept map. Not only does it give you the vocabulary, it gives you a brief definition. So you should be all right. And you need 6 outside sources. You should do well with the concept maps and everything else. So you remember, I'm excited to read. I learned so much from this. From your papers. The other thing I want you to understand is that this paper It could be a building process. This is just a briefly outlined. So you take me for marketing next semester, or you take me for finance, or you take another instructor for marketing or finance or advertising, and this is going to be your dream of a building. You could build on that. The paragraph that you provided for me in marketing or marketing research, you could put 5, you could do a whole section, 8, 10 more pages on that. So when you're ready to open up the business, even if you're not ready to open up the business, if you keep on building this, you're going for that next job interview and you say, hey, you have a business administration associate degree from College of Lake County. You have a marketing degree from College of Lake County. You have a finance degree from College of Lake County. And there's other College of Lake County students applying. Okay, so I'm looking at your grade GPA. Show them this proposal that you've done. Say, I've done this hypothetical business. I might have someday open it up. I may not. But here's how I know how to write a feasibility study, an action plan. I've taken a concept and I've now added details. So when you're writing this business plan to me, I don't want to say I'm going to be using a newspaper. I'm going to use a daily. I'm going to be using the Daily Herald. I'll be using the Gurney Gazette. I'll be using the Lake Forest News. Whatever paper, I'll be listening to B96. I'll be listening to whatever, 99.5. It depends on, when you're writing me, who your target market you anticipate will be the majority of your clientele coming to you. And that is how you're going to advertise. Once you understand the demographics of your market, where you're opening up, that's where your promotional campaign comes in. That's where your advertising campaign comes in, all targeted to that market. That's why it's so important that you identify who you're targeting, where you're opening up. I need some detail. This is an action plan, not a hypothesis. You're actually going to say, I've got the money. I'm going to run with this plan. So I should already know where I'm, what suburb I'm opening up, what newspapers I'm going to use, who my customers are going to be. Kind of have a general idea, what's my pricing structure. Everything you're going to be providing for me. Okay, so we're doing pretty good. So let's go back in here. And you're going to attach this. Remember, when you go in here, let me go back in here. Yeah. So when I go in here, what I'm going to do, like, click on here and I click on here. What you'll basically open up, if you're not, you got a rubric, read the rubrics, you click on the rubric, and it basically tells you how I'm grading. Here's an excellent paper, supportive information, the 7 headers. That's worth 20%, right? So many points. Market analysis. Okay, that's worth so many points. Pricing and revenue, you got to have this information for me. Marketing, advertising, promotion, so many points. Outsourcing plan, recommendation plan, and reference, grammar, and business terms and concepts. You do this for me, you'll do very well. Okay? So now, so you have the rubrics, submit it, 25 words. You just basically say, browse my computer, and you're going to attach the file. Here you can say, Dr. George, or Dr. George, here is my paper attached below. Okay, just like you would. Now, when you're attaching your paper, I want you to attach it. I want you to have, basically you would write G. Mochocki, okay? You do underscore if you want, G. Mochocki, business 121, write your name, and then your product, your business is a hot dog stand. I'm just making that up. And then you submit it to me, okay? So that's how I want the file. Submit it to me, attach inside your document. I want to, so now when I open up the document, I also want to see your name in there and the section. Sometimes I print them out and grade them and then scan them back in. Sometimes I do it live while I'm on the computer. But you always have to have your name in the file, have the business, the class in here in the section, name of your business, and also in your file on your hard copy that you're sending to me. I mean, on the document, the attached file inside the Word document or rich text file, RTF document, you will have also your name and the course in there. Okay, and you attach it and you submit it, and it should be all right. I don't have anything here to submit. Since I'm the instructor, I'm not submitting it to myself. We should be good. And let's see, what else do we have this week? we're doing pretty good. You print out the overview. You've got the video. Here's last week's Chapter 19 video you need to do for a refresher. All the information you want on the feasibility paper when you talk in the forum. Before you talk in the forums this week, remember, the forum is open forum. Any question in the subject area, you can say, hey, does anyone know how do I attach the paper? Hey, don't use hey, we're professional, sorry. I'm just picking up on some of my students would use it. Does anyone know what kind of sources do they need? Do I have to bold the 7 headers? Do I have to identify the 7 headers? All that information you can write in the subject area, different subject areas, and individuals. Don't wait on me all the time, because I have other classes. I've got several online classes I'm teaching at the same time. I have other face-to-face classes, and it's all at the end. Just like as a student, I have a lot of work coming in at the end. I will be in there, but so if you know how to answer the question, but because you already went into this feasibility research papers, okay, and what do you have here? It gives you an update. So here's a link. You click on this link, and the link basically will tell you everything you need on the feasibility research paper. Let me click it on here like you had before, and you have my face. My name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome to Introduction to Business. You're taking me on personnel as I need. I always need the management. If I'm open a restaurant, no matter what, I got waitresses, I got bus boys, Okay, so you see where we're at? You've got all this. I'm going to stop this here. But if I'm looking at it, what do I have? I got the executive summary. I'm not in here. I got the 7 headers all here. It tells you everything you're going to need in the concept map on here. So you should do well on this. Remember, I basically gave you the whole outline. All you have to do is put the substance to meet, and we've been talking about that, working with this through this whole 8 weeks or 7 weeks that we've been doing so far. Although, if you've been sending me the documents, you've been putting in the forums, you already have an electronic version. If you've been cutting and pasting like I recommended within the forums and in all of my short recordings, you should be on here. So here's the requirements and the feasibility. This is the same one. This is a YouTube, just in case. Maybe I think this one's more updated. This one's last year. Same information. I might have just added a little more or took some away. I'm not sure. Okay, but so you can look at both of them. They're basically covering the same thing using the concept map. How to submit your homework online. I already showed you that earlier, but if you're not sure, this is another YouTube or a video clip that tells you that. How to view old posts and formats, we have that. Feasibility grid map, you have that. Now here's the feasibility topic rubrics. You already have that in there if you want it, but if you want to print it out, here's the concept maps. This is the ones you're looking at. Remember, you click on this, you open this up, it's a Adobe Reader, and here's your whole concept map. You have everything you want. You can print this out, make it larger, smaller. Okay, so I'm going to go back on here. Push that back. Now that's the concept map, second level. This is a full one. A lot of students, instead of going this one, let me just move this around first. A lot of students just like clicking on this one because they could open this up, opened up, and now it's a full one. You can print it out, make it large. So it tells you a quick overview, what I want here. It also tells you, here's the 7 headers, market analysis. So in your Word document, you're not doing a concept map, you're doing an actual Word document with sentences, paragraphs is to present the document. So, but this is, you just add it on. So who's my customer? Hello, my customers are people who love hot dog stands. How do I plan to turn this idea? I've got my cart. I know my location. I know my demographics. I know it's going to go. And you're adding this in your own words. Trust me, you'll get your 2,400 words more than you would imagine. Okay, here's some websites. So these are websites you could look up for. If you're not sure, here's one of references, businesses, exporting. If you're doing any kind of exporting, SBA government, you could go in there, and SBA government has a whole different source. If you're going to go open up in California, it'll tell you what some of the requirements are. You could, if you have a business you open up, you could search for businesses that are similar to yours. Remember, I'm only doing a feasibility study. So if you're searching for business through SBA, they may give you a business plan that may be anywhere from 50 to 75 pages. I'm not looking for that. You're just looking at the first cut. Does it make sense to open up this business? Could I make money on this business? Who are my customers? Where would I open up if I had to open up? How would I advertise to them? Okay. Then you got the marketing, promotion, and then you have that. Then you should be you should do well on that. Okay. Now I've also provided for you copies. These are graded copies. I'm going to move these up a little here for. I think this will work a little bit better. Okay, graded copies. I'll move it back here. We can put this back here, the rubrics. Here's graded copies of a feasibility of a lady that turned it in, and this is only the first few, so you have a general idea. Here's her name of the is Crystal, executive summary. Remember how she has that set up? Then you go down here, and then now you're going to pick up. Remember, she didn't want to bold the words, really the key concept. You could underline the key concept. Bolding makes it easier for me to pick up. For some reason, she liked to underline. It's irrelevant. As long as I can identify the key concepts, I usually could pick them up. I want you to be able to identify them so you know that you're using the vocabulary from the reading and from the chapters and from the quizzes from McGraw-Hill. So Generation X, that was one of the key concepts. And then she goes with the next header, right? She had executive summary. Then she goes to the next. You got executive summary. Remember, we started. Let's see what we went here. Executive summary. That's number one. The second header is my market analysis. I'm looking at the market. I have to do analysis of who my customers are. Once I understand that, then I go to the next section. There's another section will be the marketing, and then the promotion, and then I just cut this out, remember, and then I just jumped right away to the last one. I didn't give you the whole thing so you know how the bibliography comes in here. So she has her 6 outsources. This was just a quick overview. What I basically provided you here, just you had to see how it's set up. You don't have to do any of the PowerPoints. The PowerPoints was for my face-to-face class, for my 16-week classes. I made the students actually do a PowerPoint presentation that was shared among the other online classes. Since this class is 8 weeks, making 16 weeks into 8 weeks, I gave you a little break here, and I'm not requiring you for the PowerPoint, but you will do the paper, okay? And we should be all right. So that takes care of that. So we're going back to our weekly homework assignment, and everything else that you need is in the week. It's open. Now, one real quick thing I just want to say is your paper will be due this Saturday at midnight. You'll submit it just like I talked to you. During the forum, ask any questions in the subject area. Anyone within the forum should be able to, if you read this, say, no, I read this in one of the articles, here's what Dr. George wants. I will come back and forth and do it. You will be able to post your feasibility paper before the midnight. You could post it as many times as you want, but once Saturday midnight comes and it's turned off, you're no longer accepting, I only will look at the most current attachment that you did for me, and I'll grade it from that point going forward. Are we all right? So use the forum effectively. Make sure you post to other people, help each other out like you've been doing. After the paper is due on Saturday at midnight, I will open up the final exam for you. Sunday morning should be open, so and you have from Sunday morning till I think it was Tuesday midnight, if I'm mistaken, or Wednesday. I have to look again. I'm just going off my mind to complete the final exam. Once you start the final exam, it's no different than your quizzes. Once you start it, you have 2.5 hours to complete the exam. The same thing like you would be doing inside a face-to-face class. You're not going inside the library. You're not going back on the main campus to take the final exam. You will take it within online here. The exam may be scrambled, but I think it's in order from Chapter 1 to Chapter 20, if I'm not. You will not get any response back. You'll just get the raw score, just like you would go to the final exam. There's no feedback on this. You take the exam, and you'll get your score at the end. There's no short answers on that. They're all multiple choice, and I think it's there's 20 chapters. It's going from Chapter 1 to 20, about 5, 6, 7 questions per chapter. They should be in order. If I'm mistaken. If not, final exam, you'll do fine, okay? And that should be done, and then you'll have your grades posted. Once I'll send an email, say your paper's been graded, your final exam is graded. The grade you see in Blackboard will be the grade you'll see in, for lack of better words, the grade you'll see in your transcript. It'll be sent to the registrar. I just want to say one thing. I enjoyed this class. This was a very intense class. Your forums were excellent. Some were better than others, but majority of people, you helped each other. They're very comprehensive. They're very well thought out. You know how to network. You know how to succeed in this virtual classroom. I'm very proud to have met you online. Some of you, if you see me in the hallways, I look just like my picture does. I haven't changed. I smile more a lot of times than some of my pictures. But say, hey, Dr. George, how you doing? I'm Allison. I'm Jackie. I'm Michael. I'm Michelle. Whatever you're, and say, I've had you on the online class. I know it was a lot of work, but I did learn something. It wasn't like a normal or some online classes where you just do a few posting, you do a little homework, and then you do a paper and you never hear from your instructor or from other students, and you're done, and you really didn't learn anything. You're just a good lucky guesser and just like and a good writer. Here you actually know how to interface with other people online. If you go to forums, you look at the forums similar to what you'd be doing, sending emails or doing some networking with other individuals. And like I said, I think this was a great class. I can't wait to read your forums. This will be my last publication to you for this week. I just want to say thank you for allowing me into your classroom, into your space at home. And thank you for taking this class here at the College of Lake County, and hopefully I see you in other classes that I teach, online or face-to-face. And I know that just by the forums and talking and looking at the grades that there's a lot of good entrepreneurs or a lot of good new leaders coming out of this class. There's a lot of good business people coming out of this class. And remember, ladies, you're just as good as the men, and men, you're just as good as the ladies. We're equal when you're talking to entrepreneur. If you have the skill sets, you have the knowledge. What the college has given you here is a foundation of what all businesses need to be successful. And as you take other classes, expand on this. By the time you finish with your associates, if you have a good foundation going for your bachelor's, or you already have a fairly good foundation if you open up your business, or you're working for a small business or a medium or even a corporation, the information you learn here, how all functionalities of business work together from small to large. It's irrelevant. They all have to have these. So once again, thank you again, and one more week we'll finish. I'll see you in the forum. You'll do the final exam, and then you'll have your break before you start again. And I wish you the best in your educational journey. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki. This is Introduction to Business offered by the College of Lake County, and this will be my last week, and I'll miss talking to you on the forum.